And we are live. Here we go. Welcome to, this is book number 11. 11 of the university. Can you believe that? Now, if you do the math on that Noble Quest, that's book 1 to 1,000 over 100 semesters, and we've done 10 books. That means we are 1% of the way there. And that seems like, you know, a underachievement, but let me assure you, it's a finite number. We are 100th of the way complete of this Noble Quest that we are embarking on. And before we begin the lecture, I want to make one thing crystal clear. I don't give a fuck if one person watches these lectures. My last video, 6 views. I was probably 5 of them. I want you to know that I don't care. This university, I just watched the movie The Imitation Game, and he's building what is to be the computer, Alan Turing, the computer, a digital computer, and he's like, my machine will work, and that's exactly how I feel about this university. This university will work, we will reach the people, we will give people the key to their freedom forever, the key to your escape. Anyone can escape the rat life. It starts with belief and the courage to pursue one person at a time. If no one watches these lectures and it's just for me and my future kin, that's enough for me. Because at the end of the day, this is the greatest gift I will ever be able to give anyone I love, anyone I care about, is your children watching this, you at home. Your kids will be enrolled in my university. They'll be attending my lectures. They'll be, not even my lectures with what's to come, but they will be being given access and wanting access. You'll want to give them access to my library, our library, because every book that's in here is gold. And if you consume all of this beautiful nourishment, this beautiful literature, what is the result? Your freedom forever. My battery is dying. The last lecture, it was super hot and you saw me sweating profusely. And this time what I did was I turned the air conditioning on, so we're not gonna come into that issue again. However, I did not charge my batteries to the fullest, so let's make this a brief lecture. The last one was north of 2 hours, and I don't want a repeat of that, especially when fucking one person listened to it. But you know what I didn't do that I was gonna do prior to doing this was, I thought it'd be really cool to start the lectures with the homework assignment completed. And so there was 4 tasks, if memory serves, from our last book. The first one was, I don't remember. The second one was, write down your golden list. Your golden list, 10 things that you're grateful for. And I want to do that at the start of this video, top of my head. And then the third one was, tip, when you get the opportunity to. And then I don't remember what the fourth one was. But that doesn't look, it's unbecoming of me as your professor not to know what the homework assignments were. But I'm gonna give you guys my 10 golden list of the things that I'm very grateful for. My heart update, and update with work, and excitement for what I'm currently going through during my prep, and then we're going to get into this amazing book number 11 of Ratlife University, The Greatest Salesman in the World by OG Mandino. To begin, 10 things I'm incredibly grateful for. All right. A lot of my gratitudes come from juxtaposition. So the one thing that I'm the most grateful for is that I'm not dead. I'm not dead yet. As in my heart and the palpitations and the contractions and dealing with the primary care physician and the ER and the cardiologist and the urgent care appointments, and that, I don't want to say nightmare, but that shock, you know, that curveball, that hurdle, that unexpected bend in the road. You harbor a lot of gratitude for not passing when there's people that you love and want to see, there's a work that is unfinished that you want to do. It's interesting how when you think you're going to die, what are the thoughts that ensue? And for me personally, those were the 2 paramount amongst any other, was the people that I love, who I need to see, who I need to talk to, who I really want to, hug, kiss, whatever, write a letter to, Like when you think it's game over, just all the petty bullshit subsides so fucking fast. Past grievances go away. You don't harbor any sort of resentment or bitterness or spite. That shit goes out the fucking window when you're like, I don't have any more time. So that's the first thing, first and foremost. The second thing, first and second and most, I would say is Ricardo. So Ricardo has to be my best friend. He lives in Mexico. He's going to be moving here actually May 30th. And he's a class act. He's a class act of a man. It's interesting because I have never had someone to mentor before. And that's kind of the role that I see myself in, because I see him with, there's a good quote. It's in the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. And it says, don't judge others. Don't measure others by the yardstick of your own years. And he's 26 years old. And I constantly, when we're trading audio messages, I'm listening to him and where he is on his journey, or when he was visiting me the last time that I was here in late December, seeing where he is, seeing where I am, but then having the cognizance to remember back who I was when I was his age. And then that's all happening in real time. And then being in a position to where you really learn and understand when you're under that microscope that you are the example. You know, they're looking for you to lead. I've never had influence of other people before where they look at my actions and then they mirror it. When I was having my heart palpitations, Ricardo checked himself into his primary care physician in Mexico to get an EKG, to check his heart, to do blood tests. And he was like, you're taking care of your health. I want to make sure I'm taking care of my health. And so I've never been in that position where, like, my number one goal of 2024 was to step into the role of a provider, right? And what that means is people to provide and protect over. And he is one of them. And it's so cool because he aligns with the entire vision and ideology of Ratlife. That what we're doing all of this for, not about what you get, but about who you become and what you're able to give now that you've become more. And the quest, this noble quest, right? For freedom. Nothing else fucking matters if you're not free. It's a good quote from Braveheart, amazing movie, came out just before I was born in May of 1995. And he said, he was like, I came back to raise crop and, God willing, a family. And he said, and then the other guy was like, you know, I don't want to be a martyr, because he's saying, like, we have to fight the British. And he was like, nor I. But he was like, I want to live. I want to, you know, have kids and this. And he's like, I do. I don't have a good Scottish accent. And he was like, but it all means nothing if you're not free. And it's so true. When I go through my day-to-day doing the grind right now in my effort to escape the rat life, I can't imagine spending my one spin at this as a fucking slave forever. I can't imagine that. And I was thinking about that just today when I was coming home. Went to the grocery store, got my groceries for the week, and I was like, I'm not going to play it safe in my one life. I'm not going to do where I work for 40 years as a fucking slave in a machine, a cog in a wheel, a rat in a maze, putting money into my fucking 401k to have freedom when I'm 65 gonna die. I said, what kind of a fucking life is that? It is not when I'm gonna live. I'm going to be reckless. I'm going to be dangerous. I'm going to get into trouble. I'm going to try and fail and make mistakes and try again. I'm going to live. I'm not going to just simply be alive. People don't understand that. They don't understand you have one fucking run at this. There is no rewind. You're the youngest and most beautiful you will ever be, right? And what's beautiful is if you just look at life as a video game, you get to build your character. You get to choose what path you want to go down. And all the semantics are bullshit. Everyone's title in the workplace are made up titles. And it's so fascinating when you think about it through a historical lens. If you think about it today and the weight people would put on their bullshit made up titles in the past and the weight and bullshit that they put on their titles in today in the office and the workplace, and you're just like, none of this garbage means fucking anything outside of this office, right? And then you realize what actually matters are the merits and tenets that are covered in these books. Things like character and integrity and work ethic and your word meaning something. And those are the virtues that actually make you an amazing person and actually give you the greatest experience in life, because your life and the beautiful experience that you get from it is in tandem to the quality of your relationships. And so if you're a piece of shit who has ego and arrogance, and you're so deluded with your, made up fabricated title in the workplace, and then you realize no one is coming to my grave, nobody gives a fuck about me. You realize life wasn't about what I got, it's about what I could have done for others, right? So those are a couple of my gratitudes, Ricardo, and then my heart and the progression of that. I'm very grateful for I'll give you the update on the job. So I have 2 interviews back to back scheduled next week, which is really cool because all I need is one. Either of them would put me in the above 6-figure mark, and either of them would solidify the confidence and certainty that I can provide solely for the woman that I want. And for Ricardo, who's going to be living here completely bill free. Because I told him, I said, I can give you a window for your freedom forever. Just like I was gifted to it when I came back from my Euro trip and I had to stay with my sister. I had nowhere to live, I had no money. I was in pre-revenue of Ratlife, the pre-workout sales, and she let me crash at her place. I was sleeping on like a blow-up mattress, if not the couch, if not the floor. But she paid for all my food at a time when inflation was super high, and was able to do a prep. She was able to fund a prep for me, which was fantastic, and I had complete autonomy of time. I said I could get 9 hours of sleep and a nap and eat amazing quality food because she would do all cooking and things like that. And like having fucking potatoes and pasta or like nachos or rice, like not the nacho part, but whole quality food made by an incredibly hospitable woman. You're just like, this is fantastic. And you understand how life is meant to be lived. As in, life isn't meant to be lived in a fucking LED drowned out cubicle, slaving for 10 hours, going on the fucking freeway for an hour commute each way. That is not living. That's dying. And that is a fucking miserable existence that people live in today. As in, they get into their shit car, they get into the 405, they get into their freeway traffic, they go to the job that they hate, from the boss that they despise, to come back home to a woman they don't like, trust, love, have intimacy with, and kids who yell at them and don't respect them. And it's just, that's people's every fucking day. And I can't imagine that. I can't imagine not being with someone who you're so fucking head over heels about. You're so passionate. You love them so much, right? And people take things for granted. And the thing that I love the most about my journey is it's given me so much gratitude for the little things. Like defeat, after failure, after adversity, after struggle, after hardship, after loss, after heartbreak. All of these things make you appreciate little things so much more. And so you have to understand that life happens for you, not to you. So to be able to say with confidence to the woman that I want that, you never have to work another day in your life, that's the only thing I want. And the really cool thing is, it's so exciting when you begin to truly embody what it means to be a provider for somebody else. I saw a quote by Khabib, and he said, until you understand to sacrifice and to sideline your, personal and selfish pursuits for the sake of others, he said, you don't understand what masculinity is. And I've never been in a financial position to solely provide for another person, and it's never been my prerogative. And so up until the age of 28, I wouldn't consider myself a young man. I would consider myself a boy. And I'm in a special category to where I'm quite active in my personal development. How many other people do you know who are raised by single mothers who go their entire life without trying to understand masculinity by the father role model that they never had, right? So it's very dire that you choose your mentors and the people that you emulate and those figures, quite carefully, and it's not an excuse to say, okay, I didn't have a father, I can't do this, I don't know how to do this. That's bullshit. Because at the end of the day, you're not a victim. Nobody's coming to save you. So you have to view life as life happened for me, right? Not to me. And everything that I'm saying does tie in with this book. But before we get into it, I just wanted to give you guys my gratitudes and my updates. So getting a 6-figure job, hopefully, put it out there. If you want to send me love and your thoughts of good, is that I'll know one way or the other this month. And so I have an interview on Tuesday and then an interview on Wednesday. And then if I do well on those, I'll probably do a second final selection one in either the following week or the week after. And then GG. And what's really cool is the theme of this semester was become your villain, right? And I told you the exercise from the first episode, the intro to the semester. Who is it that you want to become? And write down every category of that. What is their income? What job do you have? How do they dress? How do they talk? How do they show up? How do they present themselves? How are they reading? Are they meditating? Are they going to the gym? How's their diet? And then I give you guys a homework assignment, the actionable, actually the first one, now I remember what it was, to go 5 or 10 years out, right? What is your dream life, right? And write it down in excruciating specificity. Who is the woman that you want? What kids do you want to have? What countries do you want to travel to? What business do you want to start? Like, let go of the how, and you get crystal clarity on what it is that you want, right? Which is super important. So those are 3. Fourth one, I would say it's a gift to have my own apartment. It's a gift to have my own car. It's a gift to come home to my fucking California king-size bed when not a few months ago in December, I was living in a car, and that was my lovely, abode. So all the juxtapositions, that's like what, 4, 5, 6. Having a refrigerator when I didn't have one, having a closet when I didn't have one. It's a gift, man. And I love the gift of the grind. That's another thing I'm incredibly grateful for. Like, you should be grateful for the process, because again, life is not about what you get, it's about who you become, right? And you don't become anything if you have nothing to overcome. Does that make sense? As in, if there's no struggle, if there's no hardship, if there's no adversity, if there's no boss to fight, nothing is forcing you to level up. And so you'll stay at the same level, right? Metaphorically speaking, the proverbial level, right? As in, if I'm on level 1 and there's nothing requiring me to work harder, to push forward, to advance in any fucking way, I will stay at level 1. But because I put myself into scenarios and into situations where I learned this from Greg Plitt, when you're doing your goal setting, give yourself a deadline, right? 90 days out, I'm going to go to a wedding. 90 days out, I'm going to go to, this country. I'm going to do this bodybuilding show. He said, something that commits you to the journey you're about to embark on. And then you're able to reverse engineer it where that day doesn't move. And so every day now has value. So you can't push off today's responsibilities into the next day, because then you just lost 190 of the opportunity to become the person that you wanted to be, the person that you told everyone you were going to be, right? So that's another thing that I'm beyond grateful for, is the grind. I say that every day. I say either thank you God for another day, or thank you God for another day of this grind. I love it. When I travel, or when I have traveled in the past, one of the greatest gratitudes I have is to go to the gym, is to be in a gym abroad. I fucking love it. It is such a gift. The fact that people don't go to it, they don't work to not just improve themselves, but prove to themselves what they can become, what they can exert, right? That's the beauty about any sort of transformation that you embark on, is finding out what you are capable of. It's a quote by Socrates. He said, the greatest tragedy or shame is for a man to go throughout his life never knowing the beauty that is his own strength, of what he's capable. And so I think the gym is one of the biggest, the fact that I have the health to go to the gym, despite all of these, heart palpitations and issues, the fact that I have the health to go to the gym, to train hard, to exert myself to, 80, 90% capacity, dude, super grateful for. So let's say that's 8. I love being in California, man. That's another thing I'm incredibly grateful for. There is no better place in the world. Like, when you go outside and you have that warm, sun-kissed glow, and then you can just stand in the sunshine and just fucking soak it in, take a deep breath, slow things down, and it is so nice. The unfortunate part is, because of the rat race, because of the grind, because of the rat life, everyone who lives here, more often than not, never gets to actually enjoy the amenities as to what, the reason that they're living here in the first place, because they're so busy on, being consumed about the grind itself. They're so busy working to have the life of living here, that they don't actually get to enjoy the things that is the reason why you're living here in the first place. There's 90+% of people who live in California who don't go to the beach. I'm making it a habit now to go to the beach or to tan every single weekend, to actually enjoy my youth, to actually enjoy the process, because these are the days you're going to look back on. These are the golden years where you're going to look back and you're going to reminisce, right? Every person who's ever achieved any sort of success, they always say to love the process, because, you know, when you've made it, you don't get that same joy and fulfillment and sensation from higher and higher accolades that you did when you made your first $1,000 or your first $10,000. Like, the beauty of the grind where you and your vision and your company, you're doing all of it, you have your hands in everything, you're in every single aspect of the turnkey process, bringing your vision to life, and you're, you know, in a state of innovation and creativity and just excitement and enthusiasm and ambition. You know, one quote that I wanted to share with you while I was thinking about how I want to start this video was, there's, in regards to, you know, the one person who watched my lecture for the last one, there's a quote by Winston Churchill, and he goes, "Success is going from failure to failure with no loss of enthusiasm from one failure to the next." And the caveat that I wanted to put in that is, I don't consider one person viewer a failure by any means, because I know that the value in these lectures are golden. Because even if you don't read the books, even if you don't apply the actionables, think about nourishing your mental garden by eliminating all the bullshit. The greatest gift I've given myself these past few weeks is being off of Instagram, is being off of TikTok, is not having the garbage scrolling, the garbage consumption, the garbage FOMO shouting at you every second of the day. You being able to just focus on your lane, focus on your path, focus on your vision, your goals, your self-improvement, not giving a fuck what other people are doing or what you're missing out on or that you're behind or any of that comparison trap garbage, or all of the distractions, all of the temptations, all of the lust and the promiscuity and all this smut and trash. And you can just focus on no gossip, no celebrity bullshit, no any of that garbage. Then you can just focus on, I'm creating a garden, I'm laying a beautiful brick, one as perfectly as possible as I can at a time, and surrounding yourself with, yes, support, encouragement, growth, you know, not negativity, depression, excuses, projection, victim narratives, none of that garbage, right? If you're in the garden, if you're on the team, then our sole prerogative is to improve, is to support each other, is to offer encouragement to each other, and to be candid, and our quest and courageous pursuit towards freedom forever for ourselves and every single person that we care about. That is all I'm doing. That is all I'm focusing on. That's all I give a fuck about. And the last thing that I'll say is, the last person that I'm beyond the most grateful for is, her name's Daisy. Next. So I wanted to get into the book, The Greatest Salesman in the World. And now I'm fucking starting to sweat because it gets hot in here because I turned off the AC. It is actually quite warm outside. Fuck California. Just kidding. But no. So I wanted to give you guys an update on my heart before we get into this book, because I have very brief notes. I went into my cardiologist to do a stress test and then to do a second echocardiogram. The echocardiogram confirmed what they already saw before, which is that I have mitral regurgitation, where 3 out of the 4 of my heart valves are leaking. They call it leaky valves, where blood is going in the direction that it shouldn't be. They said it's quite mild, quite minor right now. If it worsens over time, you'll most likely need to get heart valve replacement surgery. So that is the same. My contractions themselves have quite mitigated, except for the past couple of nights. They've been sort of acting up again, but not to the extremeness and to the intensity as it was 2-3 weeks ago. So I don't offer any sort of complaint. So what I'm enduring and going through right now, it's a gift compared to what I was enduring 2-3 weeks ago. And when I went to the stress test, so what that is they put you on a treadmill, and then they increase the speed and they increase the height, the incline, to the point where it fucked up my Achilles. Like, my left Achilles tendon dude, it feels like it's gonna freaking tear off. Running on an incline is so stupid. And it's actually exactly how my little sister got injured in the gym because she chose to do that. It is beyond retarded. But the reason that they do it is because they're trying to get your heart rate to a maximum capacity. And because I go to the gym 5 to 6 days a week, my resting heart rate is so low. So I have to exert myself so much in order to have my heart rate go to its maximum capacity. And so I couldn't complete the test. I made it past like 10 minutes and it was at like above 4 point whatever speed and a stupid incline, and I just couldn't do it anymore. And gun to my head, I could have gone an extra, minute or something, but to what end, right? And that test confirmed, it showed the PVC, I don't know what the P stands for, but it's ventricular contractions, pulmonary ventricular contractions. But just a couple of them that were, rare. But that's exactly what happens. When I am able to get my heart rate to a super, super high capacity, that's what induces the palpitations, and then that's what makes the contractions sort of happen. And that could happen just from exertion, from adrenaline, from, what have you. So I asked her, what the issue is, and then she said, "You're fine." I was like, cool. And then, so I go back for my follow-up appointment next Friday to see if there's going to be any sort of treatment, beta blockers, what have you. But otherwise, I don't think there's anything that I can do about it. My diet is pristine. I took off an entire month of any caffeine consumption, and now I take 75 milligrams, like less than, or if not just about, a fourth of a scoop. When I was taking 4 scoops a day. So there's like an airplane. So my health could not be cleaner. And then I have one garbage day where I'll eat like pizza or burgers, or I want burgers this coming weekend, that's why I say that, on Saturday for my refeed day. But otherwise, I'm eating rice, egg whites, protein shakes, oatmeal, peanut butter, little packets, and tuna, and onions and peppers, That's my diet. So it's pristine. That's the update with the heart. And then I gave you guys the update with the job, the update with all my gratitudes. So now we can begin. Wow. Welcome to the lecture 25 minutes. The Greatest Salesman in the World. Now, this book, along with The Alchemist, along with The Richest Man in Babylon, are the best books you can ever read for the first time. These 3 books, they are so magical because they're written in fable form. So if you have the joy and the luxury and the privilege to read these books for the first time, you will love them. And one thing that I loved that this book said, he said, don't be so naive to undervalue the gold that is written, amidst these scrolls. There's 10 scrolls that they discuss in this book about ancient wisdom, from their brevity. And the Alchemist says the same thing. He said, all that you need to know about the life and the soul of the world and the universe and your personal legend, it could be written on a single emerald tablet. And they say the same thing here. And The Richest Man in Babylon, this book is this big. And this was the greatest book you can build your foundation of financial literacy on. And so it's so important because, and they specify it in this book, they say, just because I removed all of the garbage filler words, don't think that, the value isn't 1,000-fold, could fill, they give a good metaphor, a good analogy. They say, they're in a big room, right, where there's a single cedar chest with these 10 ancient scrolls. And he said, if I filled this entire room with jewels or gold, it would not equate to the value that are in these scrolls. And that's exactly what I feel in terms of the literature that's within Ratlife University, is each one of these books one day will be worth $1 million each, right? And it's from understanding that it's the gold that's within it. And what kind of changed my perspective, I think, when I was, began my quest for improvement and development was Grant Cardone in the 10X rule. 10X rule. And it was actually in an interview by him. And he said, when I buy a book because this is what happened. He was in a bookstore where his book was being sold, and a guy was upset about the price being $20. And he said, if you're hoping to get $20 of value out of the book, he said, put it back. Get the fuck out of here. This book is not for you. He said, when I go to buy a book, I'm not looking to get $20 of value back. I'm not looking to get my money back for the book. He's like, I'm looking for $1 million. I'm looking for that single paragraph that changes the fucking game, that takes me to the next level. And so when I had that lens, now that I go through my personal development, I'm reading these books and rereading them with my newfound experience, because some of these I've read several years ago before I had the experience of doing entrepreneurship or traveling or failing or learn, whatever on my own journey. Now you get to go back with a new lens, with a newfound humility, with a newfound experience in the sense that when you read these books, all you're given is the tree, right? Or I'm sorry, all you're given are the ornaments of a Christmas tree, but you have no foundation to put them on. I got that visual from Alex Hormozy. But when you have real life experience, when you've actually been in the arena, then you have the tree, then you can add all the ornaments, and then boom. You know what I'm saying? So don't mistake the gold that's in this book just by the brevity. Don't conflate its value. And it's gonna run out. That's why I'm gonna start again. So I just want to get right into my notes. I don't have that many. So that's why I wanted to give you guys more of a catch-up video, latest and the greatest with me and everything that's going on, because the theme of this semester, like I said, is become your villain. And there's a scenario where I get the dream woman that I want, I get the job that I want, I get my best friend here to embark on this noble quest with me, I get all of the pieces of the puzzle for who the person I want to become, the man that I want to embody, the protector and provider that I want to be for others, all come to fruition, And it's a quote by, I think it's Earl Schoaf or Earl Nightingale. They say this in a very old interview. And he said, we become what we think about most of the time. So if you're thinking about becoming this better person, this improved person, that's what you're constantly fixated on every single day, he said, then that is exactly who you will become. And so it's important that when you're trying to attract, become, magnetize, close the gap of who you are and the potential of who you can be, you don't, and I'm speaking for myself personally, I don't try to focus and fixate on the lack, on what's missing, because that is exactly what you are attracting into your life. If all you're doing is focusing on your fucking negative bank balance, all of your debt, all of the lack, all of the missing relationships, and you're not whole, happy, content with where you are, with how far you've come, with all you've endured, with all you've accomplished, and all that you have to be grateful for, then you'll never have more to be grateful for. Like if you don't harbor gratitude for this, why would whatever you believe in entrust you with more? If you bitch and moan about this, it's a fallacy. I'll be happy when. You know what I'm saying? So it's important that when you're thinking about the life that you want to have, think about it in the positive context. Don't think about the life you don't want to have. Don't think about your debt, about, man, I hate this, I hate this, I hate this. I would say that all the time. I would say, I hate being broke. I hate being broke. I fucking hate this. And true, very true to that sentiment. I did hate it. But because that's all I was fixating on, focusing on, how could my circumstances reflect anything but that? Instead of saying, it's interesting because it's almost like a fake it till you make it kind of thing, but just like with anything, when I say it starts with belief, you have to believe in yourself enough to be the person now that others will remember you for later. And so what I do in my gratitudes now is I thank God for the woman that I want before she's mine. I thank God for the job that I want before it's mine, as if I've already received them. And that's the biggest differentiator. And it's a quote from, it was by a manifester guy. And I, in the past, hated that term of manifestation because it omits action, right? But now, as I've grown and as I've developed, I understand, or I'm beginning to understand more and more the sense and the meaning of the term alignment. Very, very different. But he said, everything that's ever been written on any literature of manifestation can be summed up in a single sentence by Jesus from the Bible. He said, when you ask for something in prayer, ask in a way and give thanks in a way as if you've already received it, and it will be yours. And I think it's from Mark something where it says, that exact sentiment. Ask and you shall receive, but ask in a way as if you've already been given that gift. And that is the foundation of just gratitude. I watched another video by a woman. She said, the universe loves gratitude. The universe loves you giving thanks for what you are grateful for. And it's kind of like, you know, if you've ever, it works perfectly with dating. And any man knows this. The best women that men love are the ones who are incredibly grateful, right? And when they're grateful for, you know, just a small thing, just a little, you know, a little thing that you did, a little, you know, a handwritten note, or, you know, just some very, very small, seemingly insignificant subtlety, when they express so much gratitude and appreciation for that sentiment, it makes you and encourages you to give them more, right? And it's the exact same thing in life. So the more you express gratitude and appreciation, the more God, the universe, wants to give you more. Do you understand? And the more you're grateful for, the more you'll have to be grateful for. So I love all those ideas, and it's quite different, man, when you go in about your day in a state of gratitude as if it or they or whatever it is that you want are already yours. And I love the idea that, you know, no one can take what's meant for you. No one. And that's really, really, really cool and exciting. So, to begin the notes, it's very short. Do you remember the last time it was like 2.5 hours? Very short. Look, that's the end. That's the beginning. Done. Maybe one more. All right. To begin, The Greatest Salesman in the World, book number 11, book number 3 of semester 2 of Ratlife University. For my one beautiful viewer, I love you. All right. I do love you. All right. One must be prepared to pay a price in order to achieve any worthwhile goal. It's very true. Alex Hormozy said something very similar. He said, everything that you want has a hidden, unwritten price tag. So I want to go to the gym. I want to increase my bench press by 20 pounds, 30 pounds, whatever. What is the price tag on it? I need to maybe put on 10 pounds of muscle. I need to increase my protein to, you know, 1.25 grams per pound of lean body weight. That is the price that I need to pay, combined with progressive overload, sleep, supplements, all that stuff, for this result. Do you understand? Most people don't view life as that. They say, this is what I want, but I'm not willing to pay the price to get it. And Andrew Tate corroborated this. He said it so well. He said, when people say, I tried my best, and they don't have what they want, he said, you didn't try your best. Because he said, I've never seen someone try their best, who truly wanted it, who focused on that one fucking thing and nothing else, who never got what it is that they want. And it's completely true. As in, he said, I've never seen somebody who is super jacked, super shredded, and you ask him, hey, how did you do that? I don't know, bro, accident. He's like, no, it was all, and this is from, not Bob Proctor, it's from a different motivational speaker. He said, success never happens by accident. Success is only intentional. And so every single thing that you want has a price tag attached to it. And all of your excuses as to why you don't have it are bullshit, are complete bullshit. And that was a quote by Tony Robbins. I forget what the exact quote was, but the only thing stopping you from achieving your goal is the bullshit story you keep telling yourself as to why you can't. Nice. I was enjoined by you to remove each year half the profit from our treasury and dispense it to the poor. It's very important. That was another actionable that I gave you, homework assignment. I said, from the last video, I said tip at the greatest tip option that you can get. Something that I do every day, or every time I go to the grocery store, is when I go to the kiosk, to the self-checkout, and it says how many bags, did you use? I always put a number that I didn't use, and not in a stealing way. So if I use one, today, for example, I used 2, actually, but I paid for 8. I said that I used 8. And it's 80 cents, right? It's something so little, right? But it's just any opportunity you have to give, you have to tithe. Give. Condition yourself to not live in a state of lack, of scarcity. Choose to immerse yourself into there's always more. That rhetoric, there's always more. There's a bounty. There's enough out there for all of us to win, right? I don't have to settle for scraps. I don't have to, be like this. I could just give unconcerned of how I'm going to get. but knowing that by the law of the world, of the universe, of nature, as you sow, so shall ye reap. Whatever you give comes back to you tenfold. So just focus not on what you get, but on being a good giver. All right. Next, my phone went off. 50,000 gold talents. I took this note specifically for Ricardo. 50,000 gold talents, the palace, the warehouse, I am not deserving. That's what Erasmus, his bookkeeper, said to Hafid. I have always counted your friendship as my greatest asset. What I now bestow on you is of little measure compared to your unending loyalty. You have mastered the art of living not for yourself alone, but for others, the definition of masculinity. And this concern has stamped thee above all as a man amongst men. And I love that so much because it made me think of Ricardo and him embarking on this noble quest with me. Like anything that I'm able to give or provide for him, it's dust compared to the gift that is his trust, his belief, his loyalty, his support, his encouragement, his undying belief in me. And he said something when he was here in December. He said, I'd follow you anywhere. And I love that sentiment so much. And I expressed that in a WhatsApp audio message to him. I would follow you anywhere. I just loved it. Next, wealth, my son, should never be your goal in life. Your words are eloquent, but they are mere words. True wealth is of the heart, not of the purse. Very true. And if you read The Ultimate Gift, the other book, book number 10, it said, very rich is he who measures his wealth not in his amount of gold, but in the quality of his relationships. And that is so true. And this scare has made me really focus on watering the people in my garden and the people who truly love me. Like, one of my friends who lives in Spain she proposed to me, was willing to marry me so that I could go to Spain for, healthcare treatment so that I wouldn't die. Like, when I talk about having people who truly love you, dude, and what's really shitty is that you can be in conversation with someone who makes you feel so fucking hard to love that you temporarily are not able to embody gratitude for all the incredible fucking people in your life. So it's very important when you curate your reality, when you water and prune your garden, that the only people who are in there are the people who make you feel so comfortable in your own skin, so confident being yourself, so reassured, so effortless to love. If you focus and water those people and those relationships, dude, you don't need a lot of friends. You don't need a lot of people. I would rather have the most beautiful and intimate circle of people who would do the ride or dies than have a bunch of fucking people just for the sake of numbers of friends, acquaintances, company. Fuck all that. If you can't have a real conversation with them about your fears and your dreams and your ambitions, everything else is bullshit, man. And you're gonna die. There's literally no time to waste. So I love that quote. True wealth is of the heart, not of the purse. So far as material wealth is concerned, there's only one difference between myself and the lowliest beggar outside Herod's palace. The beggar thinks only of his next meal, and I think only the meal that will be my last. No, my son, do not aspire for wealth and labor not only to be rich. Strive instead for happiness, to be loved, and to love, and most important, to acquire peace of mind and serenity. I love that so much because people lose sight of that. They focus and fixate on shit that does not matter in life. And again, it takes your mortality being threatened for you to actually harbor awareness and cognizance, conscientiousness, appreciation, consideration for what actually matters and who actually matters in your life. Just yesterday, it was one of my tasks to complete this book. And I noticed I had a missed call from Mother. And so what did I do? Did I say, I can't call her, I need to finish this book? Fuck no. I had a lovely 26-minute conversation with her. And it's like, you don't know how long you have with the people that you love. The fact that you're not calling them, not writing, letters back to them, not, just when your time is finite, right? At some point you got to put all that fucking petty garbage aside. And what's unfortunate is it takes tragedy for people to harbor gratitude and appreciation for what's right fucking in front of them. It does. And it did for me, for many people, to either let go of someone, to really solidify my conviction on who it is that I want, to focus my priorities in terms of my health and things like that. You get that perspective check, and and the gift of it is you get so much humility, because you can think you're such hot shit, and then when life fucking checks you, you realize, and it's beautiful because they explicitly say that in this book, that when I think it was Icarus who flew too close to the sun, and then in his lovely golden chariot of, was it Apollo, he got wrecked. It's the same thing. People think they're immortal, they think they're invincible, they think they can't be come back down, but all it takes is for life to humble the fuck out of you, for you to lose your ego and your arrogance. And so I've failed so many times that I consider myself to be quite humble, it's a beautiful gift, man, where you don't think too much of yourself. Not to say you can't embody and evoke a great sense of confidence and assurance in your ability or competency, all of those things, but you don't tread the line of I'm better than them, or they're beneath me. And what's beautiful about my past and my trajectory is when you come from nothing and you build everything brick by brick, I feel like Captain America in the greatest sense, where, I started my fitness transformation as Captain America. In his before, I was 145 pounds at my height of 6'2". My best friend, and this is where a lot of my, I don't want to say insecurity, but I've been rejected by the very people that I love and care about my entire life. And I remember when I was doing this sort of analysis, my best friend from high school, he called me Skeletor when I went back home for Thanksgiving. And during my freshman year of college, after I left high school. And it's interesting because that is how I started, with literally, imagine 145 pound, it's like 62 kilos on a 6'2", I don't know what that is, like 180 centimeters, probably 190 or 200 centimeters. I'm like 7 feet tall. Imagine that frame, and then imagine what it would take in terms of mindset, focus, discipline, consistency, work ethic to add that. What do the potters use? Clay, man, to add that clay to your beautiful, work, right? To create something beautiful, that of which is the beauty of your, ability, of your strength. Socrates. So far as material, we said that. Very good paragraph. Many succumb to despair and fail without realizing that they already possess all the tools needed to acquire great wealth. Many others face each obstacle in their path with fear and doubt, and consider them as enemies, when in truth, these obstructions are friends and helpers. Obstacles are necessary for success because in selling, as in all careers of importance, victory comes only after many struggles and countless defeats. But each struggle, each defeat, sharpens your skills and strength, your courage and your endurance, your ability and your confidence, and thus each obstacle is a comrade in arms, forcing you to become better or quit. Each rebuff is an opportunity to move forward. Turn away from them, avoid them, and you throw away your future. And then it says, failure will never overtake you if your determination to succeed is strong enough. So again, shift your perspective on the failure, the heartbreak, the letdown, the defeats. All of that shit is happening to you. Those are the very things that are happening for you. Life is giving you, God is giving you exactly what you say you want. I want to become this man. I need to put you through these trials, through these tribulations, so that you have the tolerance, the ability, I need your character to be hardened by going through the fire, to be forged, to become better, to be able to endure and weather the storm that is to come. I hope I said that well. So, again, failure will never overtake you if your determination to succeed is strong enough. Don't view the failures as happening to me, this is happening for me. They're gifts, comrade in arms. When is that the easiest? For failure never to overtake you if your determination is strong enough. When you don't have a choice. These were my notes. When you give yourself no other option. When you position yourself into a corner, boats burned. It's very important. So the reason that my stress tolerance is so high, it's because I've spread myself so thin to see what it is that I'm capable of, what I can do. And every year when I do a level up, right, whether it's a physical transformation, a financial transformation, relational transformation, starting a business, traveling the world, pursuing entrepreneurship, anything that I've done, you know what has been, you can call it being a slight masochist, sadistic, whatever, but do you know what my internal thought is? I just want to see if I can do it. That is my rhetoric and my mindset and the narrative that goes on in my head. I just want to see how far I can go. I just want to see if I can do it. You know what I'm saying? Worst case scenario, you fail, right? But what if you didn't? What if you were able to fucking pull it off? You know what I'm saying? When you're going to die, what do you actually have to lose by going for it? Ever. Nothing. Nothing. It's all an illusion. Let's go back to Winston Churchill. He said success is going from failure to failure with no loss of enthusiasm from one failure to the next. He also said, I believe it was him who said this, people care what other people think about when they're in their 20s. People stop caring other people think about them when they're in their 40s. When you get to your 60s, you realize and learn and understand no one was thinking about you at all. And how true is that? How many people forfeit and sideline their goals, their ambitions, their dreams out of fear of some other fucking nobody and what they give a fuck about them and what they're doing, when in reality no one gives a fuck about you at all. I'm not saying that as like, oh no, you're unimportant, insignificant. Everyone else, including you, is stressed, focused, fixated on their own problems, their own woes, their own stresses. So they don't have time or care to weigh how your concern is, how your health is, how your problems are, how your relationship status is. They don't give a fuck. And so what a shame is it for people to go through their life in this state of terror because I'm so concerned what my family thinks about me or what I'm doing, what my friends think about me, what my coworkers think about me, when they're all gonna die, when they're all focused on themselves, when none of them give a fuck about you to begin with. Do you know what I'm saying? Focus on yourself, the improvement of yourself, and the people that you love and care about. That is the beautiful ripple effect. If you focus on becoming your best self, everyone in your life improves. Everyone in your life, their life gets better as a result of you and you pursuing your passion, your work, your great work. When you get better, they get better. If they get better, their circle of influence gets better. Do you know what I'm saying? You living in a state of cowardice is incredibly selfish because you, and they say this in this book, you are the miracle of nature, the miracle of creation. There will never be another you. You have, and this isn't me hippily preaching, not a hippie. You have certain qualities, uniqueness, gifts that no one else has but you. And when I'm doing these lectures, I speak in such a way that I alone have the ability to reach people that no one else can. That's not to say I can reach anyone, but I can reach these certain people that no one else are able to get through. I'm able to articulate my words in such a way that I can resonate in the hearts of these people. It is my duty, responsibility, obligation, verbatim from this book, to pursue my personal legend, verbatim from this book. It says right here, to realize one's destiny, personal legend, is a person's only obligation. Right there. Because I understand that it's not about me, it is about we. It's not about what I get, it's about who I become and what I am able to give now that I become more. What is the credo of Ratlife? It starts with belief and the courage to pursue. Your courageous pursuits is not merely your ability, it is your responsibility to pursue your noble quest, your noble endeavor, because only you can affect those people, whoever they are. Are you a barber in your neighborhood and you give the most fresh cuts to the people in your circle? You give the most confidence to these people that no one else can do. And so there's a ripple effect. Your passion, your work, your vision, your gifts, only you can give onto these people. And as a result, their lives become better and then they get to spread amongst their circle and that they improve. Yes, I said that 100 times. I'll say it 100 more times until you get it to your fucking head. Next, important lesson. So it's very important to put yourself into a corner and to burn your boats. And the easiest way is when you don't have a choice. That's why every man is quite easily a provider after they have kids, because necessity and urgency demands it. Because you're not going to let your kid not eat. So you're going to do whatever the fuck it takes. You're going to take that second job. You're going to work harder. You're going to level up because necessity demands it. That's when it's very easy to succeed, when you don't have a fucking choice. So position yourself in scenarios where you don't give yourself a way out or a plan B or a scapegoat, right? Burn your boats. The story, Genghis Khan, when he would order his soldiers to conquer foreign islands, he would order them to burn their boats. Why? Because he left them absent choice. You're going to take the fucking island or you're going to die. People, quote from Tony Robbins, when it comes to dying or succeeding, tend to succeed. Problem is you give yourself a way out. And how many of you say, and the worst part is when you justify it. Oh, I didn't really want it anyway. What a fucking insult. What a lie you have to tell yourself. Oh, I really didn't want to be with that person anyway. I really didn't want to pursue that vision, or that wasn't really my dream. It's bullshit because of fear. Fuck you. And I want that predicated in this university. Courage. Because again, your cowardice doesn't end with you. Do you understand? Somebody else's life could be so beautiful if you had the courage to do what? The courage to apologize, the courage to ask that person out, the courage to pursue your goal, the courage to quit your job. Courage, man. When you have nothing to lose, and you have everything to gain in this life, what the fuck? What is there to lose by going for it, right? And I'll tell you, because I've said this a million times, it's what I wholeheartedly believe. You never lose anyone by being honest with who you are and how you feel, ever. Do not apologize for being yourself or who you are. Fuck conforming and forfeiting, and they say this in this book, your uniqueness, what makes you so fucking incredible and special, to conform to the box that other people want to fit you in. Fuck that. Be you. Be authentic and unapologetically yourself. How beautiful is that, to be you? All right. So he said, Hafid, as well as you can recall, relate to me every doubt that passed through your mind as you started feeling sorry for yourself. Now, what thought finally entered your mind which drove away the doubts and gave you new courage to decide to try again and sell the robe on the morrow? And he said, I thought only of the daughter of Calneh. And I thought that was very interesting. And it ties in with a why greater than you. It's very important. When you're going through your endeavor, this was in Man's Search for Meaning, one of the first books in this university, by Viktor Frankl. The only people, it was with 100% consistency, who survived the Nazi concentration camps, needed the will to keep going. Everyone who did not have that, 100% of them died. And the ratio was like 3 in every 100, I want to say, survived from those camps. And he said every single one of them had to have a why, a cause greater than themselves, either in a work or in a person. Because you will give up on yourself. You will quit when it's just you. But when someone else is relying on you, you won't be that guy, dude, who gives up. And I understand that no one can bring this university to fruition except me. No one can take the woman that I want. It's up to me and having the courage to pursue, to believe, to not give up, to try again. In the one life that I have, knowing that I have nothing to lose, ever. And I'm never gonna look back on my life with regret that I fucking tried my best. And I know I gave it my all. I could rest easy at night knowing that I failed giving it my all and trying, than to go to sleep with the fucking agony of what if, the burden of regret. What I could have done, who I could have been, what woman I could have had I had the courage to try. I'm never going to go to sleep at night with that agony of regret, of what if. I would rather And I take quite a bit of pride and confidence that I go through my life in the absence of regret, because I understand I'm going to die. And I understand I have nothing to lose ever by trying, by going for it, by being honest with who I am and what I want and how I feel. And so when you live your life like that, dude, you could die any day, but you weren't just alive, dude, you were living. You understand that, what life is really about and what really matters. You know what I'm saying? So a why greater than you. Think of the daughter of Kalne, and you'll be able to sell the robe on the morrow, for sure. I could bestow on you great wealth, but this would do you a terrible disservice. For better is it that you become the world's wealthiest and greatest salesman on your own. How interesting that this ties into the ultimate gift that we read on our very last book. This lecture is longer than I thought, but I'm having a lot of fun with it. First law, this came from one of the first scrolls. I will form good habits and become their slaves. And I put the gift of a prep. So right now, that was the other update that I wanted to give, was with my physique. I don't know if you've noticed, but I've lost like 20 pounds right now. And I was bulking. I want to make that clear. I was bulking. I'm doing a cut right now. And I think I got up to like 220 pounds or just north of that. And so right now I weigh like 204. And so I anticipate getting myself down to the 190s. We'll see. But we're trying to get, I've never done it before where my calories are so high and my cardio is so steady state. And I'm trying to retain as much muscle tissue as I possibly can. I've never done that. Every time I get super shredded, I lose so much of my muscle tissue because I don't train heavy anymore. And then I do way too much cardio. And so you're in such a deficit that your body needs fuel source. And so it'll actually catabolize, is what it's called, your muscle tissue. And you have muscle memory. So everything that you've ever worked hard to put on, you get back. And so I always get it back, but I'm trying my hardest, my best, to get in the best shape I've ever gotten in my entire life. So we're working on it. All right. But that's the gift of a prep, is forming good habits. I have an incredible routine. I'll share it with you. So I wake up 6 a.m. and then, get ready, go for work, have all my meals prepped, ready to go to work, come home, shower, teeth, go to the gym, kill it, come back, put my rice on the cooker, I meditate, and I harbor gratitude, and I send one person as much love as I possibly can. And then I sometimes that turns into a nap. And then I eat my meal, and then I read, if not, film this lecture, and then I'll eat my second meal, and then shower, sleep. That's my everyday. And so I love it because it's constant growth and nourishment. And it's so cool when you get into the habit of that kind of consistency. And every time I've ever done a prep, it always starts off slow, and it's because of the success cycle. It goes belief, potential, action, results over time until your belief is like this. You forget your past achievements and successes. So you're like, I think it's working. I think I'm going the right direction. So you tap a little of your potential. You take a little bit of action. You get some results. But then as you develop in the weeks to come, you see your hard work reflected in the mirror, and you're like, oh, I know I'm going the right direction. And so the success and the results increase your belief, which makes you tap into more of your potential, which encourages you to put even more action, so you get even better results to solidify your belief in more, and it's an upward spiral until you achieve your goal. And so that's the beauty of a prep and the gift of a prep. So I'd highly recommend everybody just get shredded. Okay, just get into the best shape of your life just by, if you send me, I don't know how you would message me, but here, I'll give you my WhatsApp for anyone who's watching this. Ready? My WhatsApp number for my one lovely person who's watching this video is +1, so you have to do +1 in the number, 714-402-0605. If you send me your email, I can send you, I can share access to the Google Doc that I'm updating for this entire prep of Escape 2024, and I can give you access to all of my daily workouts that I'm doing, the exact weight, or not weight, because the weight you would tailor to your own, but the exact number of sets, the exact number of reps, and the exact exercises that I'm doing to literally do my transformation. I include all the cardio, all of the weak point training, all the ab workouts. Like, I literally take out all of the guesswork. And then if you really want, my free coaching services, if you send me your before photos, your body weights, your goals, that'd be pretty much it, and your age, even though I can probably guess, I'd be able to tailor your macros for you quite effortlessly. to help you, because that will expedite the whole thing. As in, if you want to get shredded or, you know, get leaner or whatever, we have to put you in a caloric deficit. And so I would need those numbers in order to calculate what it is for you, given your age, metabolism, and current body weight. And then I'd be able to plug those numbers in for you. And I've only been doing this for going on 11 years. It's not like I'm an expert or anything. But yeah, so go ahead and send me a WhatsApp message, +1 714-402-0605, or send me an email, tarkhacks@gmail.com. All right. Tark, you just put out your phone number and your email to the world. Yeah, to the one viewer who's watching this. That's okay. It's okay. We're all gonna make it. All right. I will greet this day with love in my heart, and most of all, I will love myself. This is from the book. Amazing book. For when I do, I will zealously inspect all things which enter my body, my mind, my soul, and my heart. Never will I overindulge the requests of my flesh. Rather, I will cherish my body with cleanliness and moderation. Never will I allow my mind to be attracted to evil and despair. Rather, I will uplift it with the knowledge and wisdom of the ages. Never will I allow my soul to become complacent and satisfied. Rather, I will feed it with meditation and prayer. Never will I allow my heart to become small and bitter. Rather, I will share it, and it will grow and warm the earth. I love that so much. And so I said, let's break it down. Loving yourself, what does that mean? These are my notes. Stand guardway at the doorway of your mind. And I have to do this every fucking day at work. Gossip, people's verbal garbage, projection, limiting beliefs, insecurities, fears, doubts, criticism, hatred. Stand guardway at that garbage that's entering your fucking garden. You'll read it in the book See You at the Top by Zig Ziglar. He says that exact same thing. How quickly are we to defend ourselves from physical harm? Right? Very quick. How slow are we to protect ourselves from mental and verbal harm that these irresponsible motherfuckers unknowingly put into it? When a person tells you to be careful, when they say, you know, don't do this, what about this, worry, concerned about this, when they project their limiting beliefs, their insecurities, their fears, if you do not stand guardway at the doorway of your mind, if you fucking believe their garbage for yourself, when they say you're the T word, T-I-R-E-D, when they say you're less than, you're stupid, you're ugly, you're fat, whatever, if you aren't standing guardway, it's criminal when they make you believe that shit. Their fucking projection, their limiting beliefs. It's criminal. Parents do this with kids all the time. I see it a lot with women who have body insecurity, dysmorphia, whatever. A lot of the times, in my experience, it comes from women who had mothers who would fucking who would say these stupid fucking comments to them. Like, for example, if their daughter went to go get a piece of cake and they would make a comment about it. Do you really need another one? Or this, or this? I've noticed you've like gained weight. Imagine that's your parent and that's the image that you're conditioning your daughter to believe she's ugly or she's fat or she's, you know, less than, or and then some mothers, not to go on this tangent, but they'll say even worse things. This is why you're single. This is why you don't have a man. It's fucking criminal how shitty you can be as a person, as a parent, when you project your garbage onto other people and they fucking believe the garbage that you're spewing into them. And so when I say to love yourself is to stand guardway at the doorway of your mind. Because unless you have people like me or people who are in your environment, are in your garden offering you support, encouragement, the word yes, you're fucking amazing and capable and incredible and completely able to do all of these things that you dream and aspire to do, unless you have those fucking voices, you could fall trap to listening to the garbage, dude. I've had to drown out throughout my journey of development and physical transformation all the motherfuckers who tell me I can't, or anyone who says they don't want to be in a relationship with me or whatever. It's just because all they do is corroborate what everybody else says. And it's like, I've always gone through my life, it's like there's no amount of no or rejection or failure that's going to stop me from fucking trying again. And I'm not going to apologize for being who I am or diminish my ability or, you know, confine myself to their fucking limits. It's a perfect quote it was a power lifter. He said, I'm not going to shy away from advancement. He was criticized for his deadlift and the amount of weight he was moving. He said, I'm not going to shy away from advancement just because it's a number you feel uncomfortable with. Fuck you. And it's so true. And so when I say stand guard at the doorway of your mind, be careful. Be mindful of the people who say be careful. Fuck that. Don't be careful. Grant Cardone said that in an interview. He said, be dangerous, man. And I love that the other day. Not that I watch movies every day, but, you know, I like to watch something to take a break from all this when I'm eating. And so when I'm eating my tuna and rice, I was watching The Three Musketeers, or it could have been on my rest day every Saturday. They said that, where it was a past musketeer and then young, I don't remember his name, but the young musketeer, he was going off, was it Darius or, I don't remember his name, and he said, what are you going to do, you know, Dad, give me the whole, you know, stay out of trouble speech. He said, no, get into trouble. He said, make mistakes, love, live. And I love that so much. So the people who tell you to fucking play it safe, dude, get them the fuck out of your life, man. Because, and again, this is actually, I learned this from Andrew Tate. When you're heeding advice from people, look at their life and ask yourself, do I want to live their life? Because their thinking has gotten them the results that they now embody. And it's very important when you take advice or take personally, which you shouldn't if you've followed the tenets of the 4 agreements, don't take things personally. When people tell you, you should think this way, you should think this way, you should think this way, do I want to adopt the thinking of you, the thinking of a negative person, the thinking of a victim, of a depressed person, of someone who feels sorry for themselves, who makes excuses? Why would I want to adopt your thinking? Even if I'm wrong, it's a better victory and win and life than your circumstances and conditions, which you deem are so terrible. So why would I want to embody your thinking and ideology? So questions to ask yourself, and it's important to, in terms of loving yourself, stand guard with the doorway of your mind. Next, your diet. These are my notes. Mine. Someone who poisons themselves is not someone who loves themselves by definition. Because if you loved yourself, you treat your body as if it were a temple. You wouldn't give yourself diabetes and heart disease or needless stress on all of your joints and a complete lack of energy to get back or to give back to all the people you love. And I put in parentheses and an asterisk, all the people you say that you love. If you love yourself, you're not fucking poisoning yourself with garbage diet, garbage food. That's not reflective of somebody who loves themselves. Moderation. This is all breaking down that big paragraph quote. And I put food, lust, recreation, alcohol, drugs. And constant nourishment within your beautiful mental garden. Motivating audios, the literature of this university, and supportive and loving friends. Everything that I've stated in this lecture. Opt to be alone rather than have any pest or disease for the sake of company, found in the form of toxic, negative, depressing, hate-filled, angry, bitter, spiteful, resentful people, aka friends. Anyone who puts other people down or gossips or is riddled with excuses, cut them the fuck out of your life. Meditate and embody gratitude daily. Affirm everything you love to magnetize more to love, rather than listing and focusing on everything that you hate or don't like or you feel is lacking. Because if you do, that is exactly what you are magnetizing. I said that earlier. And send love to the very people who need it the most, or who you are beyond grateful to have a part of your life. Share your love, smile to people, give compliments to strangers, laugh. This is the youngest and most beautiful you will ever be. You are going to blink and it's going to be the end of the line. Savor these moments. Take the time to slow down every once in a while. There is so much passion and intimacy in presence. That's what makes life truly worth living. Those were all my notes. I will persist until I succeed. A tenet in this book. Failure, I may still encounter, and I love this because it's a perspective check. Failure, I may still encounter at the 1,000th step, and yet hidden just around the corner is my victory, reward, and success. And I put, it's always the hardest right before you level up in a video game. Remember that. So people, again, they view life as life happening to me. Consider that life is happening for you. It's also important to note, life and God test you to see if you're actually about it. If you actually want what you say you want, or if you're just fronting. They test you and tempt you. You say you want a good man or a good woman, and yet you're betting hoes. Not going to happen. Your actions are inconsistent with what you say you want. Now, I was using that as a hypothetical. I'm not betting hoes. But that is, every time I think of the woman who I want, I think of the scene from Batman. And Christian Bale, you know, handsome, sexy, gorgeous, you know, Batman. He's walking out of the place with his 2 Europeans that, he's going to go have a threesome with. And then they're all laughing and frolicking as they do. And he's walking out, and the woman he actually wants, Rachel, walks in. And then he looks at Rachel, and he's like, Rachel. And she's like, Bruce. And then she looks at the 2 Europeans and looks back at him. And he looks at the girls and back at her. And he said, Rachel, this isn't me. And she said, and I'll never forget this because it's perfect. She said, it's not who you are underneath that matters, but it's what you do that defines you. And the most humbling quote that I came into the end of 2023 with was, are my actions consistent with what I say I want? And it's so important. It's like, if this is the kind of woman that you want, would you want her entertaining all of these fucking people? And I would go to the extremes of using the visual, like visualizing the woman of my dreams getting by these other, guys. Like, whatever's gonna fucking drive that home for you to focus on becoming the right man. I learned that from Jordan Peterson. He said, people, when they say, how do you get your dream partner, dream relationship? He said, stupid focus, stupid question. He said, instead ask yourself, how can I become a person who could, he said this, if I could offer everything I possibly could offer to my partner, who would I look like? And I've harnessed that ideology and that insight and that exact sentiment into my 2024. I said, what kind of man do I want to become? And then it's actually written right there. I said, become the right man. And I put all this debt that we're alleviating, all of this income that we're hoping to be able to be in a position to completely provide for the woman that I want. I put the vision for Ratlife University, for the things to come here. Every single detail of just, if you could just focus on not what you get, but who you become and what you're able to give now that you've become more. And then it's a quote by everyone, you attract by becoming an attractive person, right? So what's interesting, whether it's in a woman, whether it's in a job interview, when you don't need it, when you're finally whole and happy with who you are and yourself, that's when everyone decides that they want to be with you. So the best thing you can do is to stop the chase, is to focus on building your beautiful, nourished garden, and then the butterflies, right, will come in. You'll attract by becoming an attractive person. So I would take that to heart, if you will. All right, next. I will persist until I succeed, the failure thing. It's also important to note, life and God test you. That's what we're talking about. And then, the Dark Knight threesome with Bruce Wayne. I spit. All right. But if you show God you are resolved, and I love this. These were my notes, but I also plagiarized. The universe conspires in helping you achieve your goal. And I put, how beautiful is that? If you show God you are resolved, no, this is the person that I want. This is the man I want to become. I'm not fucking entertaining these. I'm not pursuing these other people. And you're consistent with what you say you want. The universe conspires in helping you achieve your goal. So true. The prizes in life are at the end of the journey, is a quote from the book. And I disagree with that statement. The invaluable prize is the person you become amidst the journey. The person you had to become in order to achieve or attain the goal. So that's the victory. Because life is not about what you get. It sounds like I'm repeating myself in the movie The Imitation Game. I'm starting to sound a little repetitive. It's not about what you get. It's about who you become and what you're able to give now that you become more. Your victory is leveling up, so in turn everyone else's life improves simply because of your courageous pursuit until. It's a secret word. I will live this day as if it is my last. Quote from the book. I have but one life, and life is not but a measurement of time. When I waste one, I destroy the other. If I waste today, I destroy the last page of my life. I fucking love that. If I waste today, I destroy the last page of my life. That's a wicked visual. I don't want to destroy the last page of my life, man. I want to write a beautiful story. You know what I'm saying? So we're actually almost done. Where there are idle mouths, I will listen not. These are all ideologies for you to embody in your day-to-day. These were written in the 10 ancient scrolls, the scrolls of wisdom, to unlock The secret of the ancients. Where there are idle mouths, I will listen not. Where there are idle hands, I will linger not. Where there are idle bodies, I will visit not. Henceforth, I know that to court idleness is to steal food, clothing, and want from those I love. Again, not your ability to, your responsibility to, because when you neglect to pursue your endeavor, you're neglecting to remember and consider the people in your life you say you care about, that the lives of those people who you could fucking improve, but you are choosing not to by your neglect, your cowardice. So I love that. Henceforth, I know that to court idleness is to steal food, clothing, and I put want from those I love. Warmth from those you love. You're stealing food and clothing from the very people you love, you selfish motherfucker, pussy. I am not a thief. I am a man of love, and today is my last chance to prove my love in my greatness. I will live this day as if it is my last. And I said, don't underestimate the effect your fear, doubt, and procrastination is having on the people you say you love. And this is a quote from Conor McGregor. Your lack of commitment is an insult to the people who believe in you. Fuck. Homework assignments. Commit this quote to memory. I don't even have to read it because I already have the quote memorized. My unmatched perspicacity coupled with sheer indefatigability makes me a feared opponent in any realm of human endeavor. I want you to reiterate that quote every time you hear the T-I-R-E-D word. I'm going to say it again. When somebody says, I'm t, when you think to say I'm t, say, how are you? I'm t. I want you to say, I'm indefatigable. And you're going to say, what does that mean? It means I cannot be fatigued. That's how I am. So, and I had to do this over and over. I had to say that paragraph, that sentence over and over because I couldn't even verbally say those words. I didn't know what perspicacity meant. I didn't know what indefatigability meant. I had to say that shit over and over, and now I have it memorized. And when you have a quote memorized and it becomes habit, it becomes character, then it becomes your life. So it starts with the lie, the fake it till you make it, when I say we're all going to make it and you don't believe it, but you water and water and water until the secret word you believe it for yourself, then all of a sudden you become that. You become what you think about. As men think, James Allen. So this is the only homework assignment. Ready? Anytime you hear that word, the T word, I want you to commit this quote to memory, and I want it to be a fucking reflex. So your homework is to commit this quote to memory. My unmatched perspicacity coupled with sheer indefatigability makes me a feared opponent in any realm of human endeavor. Break it down. My unmatched perspicacity, my unmatched ability to perceive. I'm thinking and looking around for my fucking self. When the COVID bullshit happened, they tried to make you not believe your own eyes. Oh, people can't show symptoms for days, if not weeks at a time. They were just lying. So people wouldn't even believe their own eyesight of what is real and what's not real. If you don't stand guard at the doorway of your mind, you will be enslaved. The greatest prison is the glass bowl, the fish bowl that you do not know that you're in. Do you understand? My unmatched perspicacity. You need to have that ability to perceive. Stand guard. Think for yourself. Coupled with sheer indefatigability, you have no quit. I don't give up. I don't get TIRED. I'm indefatigable. I will try again. Makes me a feared opponent in any realm of human endeavor. It doesn't matter if it's a fucking video game, if it's my physical transformation, if it's a financial pursuit. If this motherfucker can do it, he's not a harder worker than me. He doesn't have more talent than I do. He's not smarter than me. If he can do it, why cannot I? If he can do it, why can't I? And why can't I do it even fucking better, right? I am no different or worse than he. I have unmatched perspicacity. I'm indefatigable. It doesn't matter if it takes me longer. It doesn't matter if I have to work harder, put in more hours. I can achieve any fucking goal I put my mind to. Do you understand? Where does that come from? Unmatched perspicacity, coupled with sheer indefatigability, makes you a feared opponent in any realm of human endeavor. Ratlife. It starts with belief and the courage to pursue. Do you understand? Commit that to fucking memory. Next. Anytime someone asks you how you are, regardless of how you're feeling, you respond by saying, I am indefatigable. Condition that. I have a coworker, and I hate it. Hey, how are you? I'm all right. And it's just like, I I don't care if you're not feeling the best, say you're feeling the fucking best. And it's not to kid yourself, but it's self-hypnosis. If you say you're less than, if you say you're I feel like shit, I'm the T word, then that will be your reality from confirmation bias. You will create the circumstances and conditions to validate that existence. So it's never in your not best interest, I'll use all the negatives, to hypnotize yourself to improve your life. It's infinitely better to say, I am strong, I am beautiful, I'm gorgeous, I'm all of these uplifting things, than to say, I'm ugly, I'm stupid, I'm less than, I'm the T word. Do you understand? Hypnotize yourself to improve every aspect of your life, to fully develop the beauty that which can be your character. Woo! To finish, that is your new identity. You're indefatigable. You are not someone who gets tired. You are someone who is relentless, who never gives up, who keeps trying no matter what. Life is about planting trees under whose shade you will never sit, and the ending of the book. That's all my notes. The book ended so beautifully, and I don't want to spoil it, but I'll share it. And the very beginning of the book, he's embarking on his quest to become a salesman, and his mentor gives him Patros gives him a robe to sell, and he ends up giving the robe away for free from a baby who needed it because their baby's parents had little cloths. Baby was freezing cold, and so he looked at the baby, looked at his robe, and rather than sell it, he gave it away for free. Came back to his mentor feeling like a failure, for he failed. How much he would be met with laughter by giving away that robe. The story ends with this person coming into Hafid after he's amassed and mounted all of his wealth, right? Looking for someone to give these scrolls to so that they can in turn become the greatest salesman in the world and then share that gift with the world. And it turns out that the baby that all that they had from, this was during antiquity, was from one of the crucifixions, and all they had of the remnants of it was this robe from the person who wore it. And then it turned out to be, and it's so cool, and that's why I love that these stories are written in fable and these things. The robe was that the baby that he gave his robe to at the beginning of the story was Jesus. And so the robe comes back to him 30 years plus years later. And I put that as the end quote, and that's going to be the end of this lecture, is life is about planting trees under whose shade you will never sit. You have no idea, and I don't want you guys to underestimate the impact that you pursuing your potential can have, not on other people in your circle of influence, have on the world. Me not pursuing this university and this noble quest would be the most selfish thing I could ever do, because I'm given this vision, I'm given this sight, I'm given this glimpse of the potential of what this could be, the lives I could change, could save, could alter forever. I can't imagine living my life in that state of cowardice, of inaction, of neglect, of fear, of being, put off by a video getting one view. No, fuck all that. Because I know that if I will persist until I succeed. If I persist, I will succeed. Until is a secret word. So as long as you keep adding, they say that in this book, wood to the fire, and you keep trying again and again and again, life will conspire to help you realize your goal. Life is about planting trees under whose shade you will never sit. So I think to finish this lecture, I just want you guys to get into the habit of thinking beyond yourself, right? And as we embark on my journey with me of what it means to be masculine, what it means to be a protector and a provider for others, you have to begin to think about what you can give others, thinking about putting others before yourself. Lost sentiments of what it meant to be a traditional masculine man. If we reignite those lost tenets, we can re-inspire a generation of made men, because we're about to enter very, very hard times. We're on the brink of a third world war. We're going into a global depression, a global recession currently. And this mass printing of money, the US dollar right now about to go off as the world's reserve currency, we're about to enter the hardest fucking times, which in turn will develop and cultivate and like a fucking phoenix from the ashes, strong made men again. And that's in a decade to come. So I think if we can be those, like you said in the book, a man amongst men, a leader amongst leaders. Now, dude, when the battle cry is called, they're going to look to you to lead. They're going to look for that beacon of hope that lights, right? And so if you have the courage to pursue, if you have the courage to speak the truth, to stand up against all the bullshit that they purport, to stand guard at the doorway of your mind, evidence that you love yourself, right? To have unmatched perspicacity, to have indefatigability, sheer indefatigability, become that feared opponent in any realm of human endeavor. You could achieve every goal that you set your mind to. And again, life's not about what you get, it's about who you become and what you're able to give now that you become more. Ratlife University, we're all gonna make it. Book number 11. I hope you guys enjoyed. Remember, the homework assignment, commit that to memory. My unmatched perspicacity coupled with sheer indefatigability makes me a feared opponent in any realm of human endeavor. Anytime somebody says the T word, I want you to say that in your head. And I do every time. I've tailored it a little bit because I don't have the best self-image. So sometimes, or not sometimes, when somebody says the T word, now I'm including in the reflex, I'm indefatigable, but I also say I'm gorgeous or I'm beautiful. I'll say that every single time. And it's really, really good to have that being reiterated in your rhetoric, something that in the past I would never do. I've never looked in the mirror and say, you know, you're sexy, you're handsome, you're gorgeous, you're all these things. But now doing it, it's a pretty cool mind trick, mind fuck, mind hypnosis in the best way, where you get to begin to see the beauty that is yourself, exactly how you are, right? And that's the best way you can give love to other people, is seeing them who they are now and loving them exactly for who they are now, but then believing in the man or woman they have the potential to become. That's what love is. You get to see them at their best, and you get to breathe that confidence in their ability of who they can become, right? Confidence in their potential. So that's love, man. And so the way that you can love yourself is by breathing that same belief and that same encouragement and support and beauty within yourself, when you look at yourself, how you talk to yourself. So on that note, Ratlife University, book number 11, done. We're over 1/100th of the way there, guys. 1% done. What's 989 more books? Nothing. Child's play. Nothing. Easy. So the noble quest continues next time. Hopefully we get 2 viewers this time.